Hey guys, Graham here. Firstly, apologies for not uploading a video in like, I don't know, 4 weeks. I've been putting all my time into my second channel, kind of trying to get a lot of videos up there, you know, get the ball rolling over there and, you know, give it a decent kick start. And if you want to check that out, by the way, just click about here and it will take you to a new tab. It won't actually close this video, and it's just basically me talking crap and it's kind of vlogs and stuff, you know. Trying to be funny, I guess. So back to the point, I will be making more videos for this channel from now on. I'm going to split my efforts between the two now. I've got a few videos up there, and I'm going to be trying to do a painting tutorial probably maybe later this week. So this video is going to be about, you know, how you can still make original artwork whilst taking inspiration but not copying and not tracing other people's work. I think there's a line when you're taking inspiration from something and you've got to be careful not to cross it, because if you do, then everyone's just going to brand you a bit of a knob. Also, you can get sued and stuff if you're making money off of other people's artwork, and you don't want that happening. Now with you know, traditional work like I do, you can't really stray too far from the original artwork that they used to do back in the day. It's got to be pretty similar to fit in with the style because it's so distinctive. If you did try and do your own thing with it, it wouldn't actually be traditional anymore. And it doesn't really matter quite so much if you kind of half copy traditional, because you're emulating a style and you're trying to, you know, make it look like that style. In the past, I actually took an old lithograph and I traced the basic lines, the basic shapes, the composition, and I turned it into an old school version of that. And I've heard of a lot of old school tattooers doing that, because that is actually what they would do. A long time ago, they didn't really have that much reference for art. You know, they didn't have Google Images, so they would get like you know, lithograph prints and artwork out of books, and they would trace the basic composition or draw it as close as they could to it and turn it into a sort of tattoo version of that. So I had to go at doing that, and this is how it came out. Yeah, so the composition is the same as the original, but I've old schooled it up and done my own thing with it. If someone said to me about the painting and they said, "Oh, that's nice, can I get it tattooed?" I wouldn't be like, "Yeah." I'd say, "Well, it is a redraw of an old lithograph that I found." If they still wanted it done, then I'd be happy to do it, but I would always tell them first that it was actually someone else's original artwork and I've just done a different version of it. I think that's a big part of it. If you don't admit it, that you've traced it, and you try and pass it off as your own work, that is the thing that is you really should not do. Now, I actually got a message recently from one of you guys, and they were saying that someone had actually been ripping off my artwork. Now, usually when this happens, they've kind of taken some of my artwork, redrawn it a bit, reworked it, recoloured it, and done it slightly different, and I don't really care about that so much. But this time it was a complete rip-off. Now, some of you may remember this video, and it's the first ever one I did on this channel. It was a long time ago now, and someone had actually taken pretty much that exact rose, redrawn it exactly the same, and this is what they came up with. He must have literally traced it and used the same colours. But the bit that I really don't like is the fact that he signed it and he has not credited me anywhere. I blurred out the name because obviously I don't want everyone like messaging him, like hating him or whatever. Like, that's just stupid. Like, fair enough, he's done it now, it doesn't really matter too much. I'm not gonna like go crazy at him or anything. You know, I kind of understand these things do happen. If you're doing something creative, people are gonna copy you. I mean, I've copied people, like, you know, taking inspiration, but I haven't like actually ripped anyone off without admitting it. That is the difference. But also, that guy, he's actually selling t-shirts, and so he's actually making money off my artwork, and that is a bit much. I also had someone link me to a video where someone had actually traced one of my roses off one of my old videos on my old channel and actually made exactly the same tutorial as me using my tracings to teach people how to draw. It's ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't care. If people linked back to the original video or credited me, then it'd be absolutely fine. Like, I'd probably take it as a compliment in that case. But saying this, I don't actually just draw everything straight onto paper out of my head. To be honest, I don't think many people do. Now, I've watched videos where I've heard some of the top tattooists in the world talking about how they trace women's faces out of hair magazines. So they're using photos from magazines to get the facial proportions right first time without having to draw it out 10 times and sketch it up loads. And you've got to remember, in tattooing, time literally is money. So if you can get things done a bit faster with little shortcuts like that, then it's great. Now, a good example of this is sometimes if I'm doing a really complicated composition for a tattoo and it's got lots of different elements in it, rather than sketching it up and trying to fit everything right by just drawing it all out, what I'll do is I'll actually get some images. So, like I say, out of hair magazines, for facial proportions, because then you're not actually copying anyone's artwork, you're actually tracing a face to get the shape and just the basic shape, and then you can go off and build on it and make it into a tattoo design. So I'll get images like that and I'll put them into Photoshop and I'll kind of mock up a composition and say I've got a couple of roses at the bottom and then the woman's head here and then one of the roses slightly off. I can just move it up on Photoshop and get the composition right first time, then print it out and then use that on a light box as my guidelines. Now you could do this on paper, easy enough. It's just I find it easier in Photoshop. It's easier to just move things about, and they won't slide about while you're trying to trace over it, and you can just sketch things in with a graphics tablet to fill in gaps. Now I can't stress this enough, I'm not saying get people's tattoo designs, mush them all together in Photoshop and pass it off as your own work. You want to use photos, not photos of tattoos, not photos of drawings, not scans of drawings, but photos of actual things. Like for example, if you're drawing a rose, get a photo of an actual rose, not a drawing of a rose. While we're on this subject actually, I could actually do a new episode of Digital Flash where I show exactly how you can mock up a composition properly in Photoshop, and exactly like my workflow process and everything. So if you want to see that, comment below. And also, if you have any ideas for what you want me to draw in that video, well not draw, but mock up in that video, then also comment that below as well, and I'll take all comments into consideration. So in conclusion, if you're going to trace anything that anybody has drawn, even if they're not a tattooist, anyone, always credit them. And if you really can't draw something and you need to trace it, that's fine. Just don't use people's artwork, use photos instead. So thanks for watching guys, and don't forget to like or even favourite this video and share it with anyone who you think might be interested. Also, I always reply to every single one of my comments, and I am here to help. So if you have any questions, just drop them below and I will get back to you. Also, I'm going to start putting recommended books on tattooing in the descriptions to these videos, so go down there and check it out. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you all soon.